Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my Martian Movement series. Today we're launching another module at Space Station just to finish up what I cut short in the last video. It turns out that it's going to be a while before we get bug fixes for screen rotation, so I figured I'd just make this little short one, finishing what I plan to do and that other episode in the meantime. You can see here we're just launching to match that trajectory line so that we can meet up with the station once it brings us up here. And right by now I start my burn to match its velocity, as it's going to take a bit. And we're really just trying to make sure that our apoapsis stays at around the same height by, pointing either more up or down relative to apoapsis. You can see here I'm letting the station catch up with us a little bit. We're a little in front of it, and then you can see here I'm burning just vertical to cancel out the relative velocity going downwards. You can see here we're coming in for our final approach. So it takes a little bit of fiddling around here with the engines, but I need to redock to the other end of this little adapter here for the station, which is a little difficult. I have some trouble with it. You got to fiddle around a little bit, but eventually I get it docked nicely there. And we're docking it here to the one open docking port there. This entire thing will be removed, but really I just needed it for balance for now. And it looks nice. I think I'm going to keep that little escape pod. You can see here I'm actually using the docking port to smash off some of these RCS blocks because I really didn't want them to be there permanently. And it looks a lot better without them. There are several quick saves that I cut out here. If you notice any kind of jump cuts, right there. And I tried to get those ones in between the solar panels, but it really didn't work. The solar panels are too weak, and this is too wide to hit them. So I just ended up docking here. And I thought this was going to be it, but the video ended up being kind of short. So what I chose to do here is I did our burn to Mars. Now, this was horrible. The video is going to speed up significantly here. The raw footage here was over 40 minutes of burning. Now I have sped up this footage as fast as it will possibly go using the software that I'm using. And it's still 2 full minutes of just burning here around Earth orbit. You can see here we're doing, basically we time warp to apoapsis and then burn until that transfer window goes away, which is actually not the best way to do it. You would want to start before your apoapsis and then burn all the way through it to the other side to maximize the Oberth effect. And if you don't know, the Oberth effect is when the closer you are to your periapsis, the more efficient raising your apoapsis will be, and it goes the same way as well. The closer you are to your apoapsis, the easier it is to lower your periapsis. You can see here we're doing these burns, and you'll notice, we'll switch to the regular view there for a minute. I'm just messing around with random things to keep myself occupied while doing this. We get roughly 100 meters per second per burn I'm doing here, and on the last one I'm able to get 200 meters per second because I start earlier and I realize, I need to be able to completely exit the solar system on this final burn here. So from then here, we're about to actually get out to our interplanetary transfer for Mars orbit. You can see here we don't use that much fuel for how long we've been burning. Ion engines are so efficient. It probably would have been very easy to do this with regular chemical rocket engines. But it looks cooler to do it like this. You see I'm getting our periapsis as low as possible around Mars, so that way it's the most efficient. And I'm not sure how long this is going to take, so initially I start burning all the way up there, but then I realize, I can just come down a little bit lower. And here's where we do the majority of our burn. I do wait a little bit. I try to raise our periapsis to a nice height for a space station. I end up changing it, but you can see here I'm doing the majority of my burning. And then eventually we will time warp down to that periapsis to finish up our burn. So you can see here I'm trying to keep it, right now I'm trying to keep that basically stationary. Just now I switched to moving it upwards to about 50 kilometers because I was thinking about putting the station there. In the end though, I decided not to do that. It's pretty low. It doesn't look, as good. We end up raising it to about 150 kilometer orbit. And I circularize it at that. So you can see here we just time warp down to finish our burn. You can see here I'm trying to lower it below the orbit of Phobos before I circle around again. That way we don't actually accidentally have an encounter and end up getting flung really far out of the system. So here I do the one more orbit around before I eventually get my orbit to the correct height. So we're doing that final burn here. Actually, no, not final burn. That's my mistake. We have one extra burn at apoapsis. And that's actually going to wrap up our video pretty well here. We're getting pretty close to the end, so I would like to thank you all for watching. I would say be sure to subscribe if you can get episode 4. Like the video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.